Here to tell us more is local geologist Pumelele Mashele and the drill manager Rodney Tucker. He's originally from Joburg, but really in his heart he's also a Barbertonian. He tells us. Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having us.
Can we start with the significance of the Makonjwa Mountains? They're very special and they played a big role in securing the World Heritage status for the area.
Okay, so the Barberton Makonjwa Mountains are world famous because they contain one of the world's oldest rocks that are best preserved. So you have older rocks somewhere else, but these ones are ancient but are in an excellent state of preservation. So they contain clues that teach us about the early history of our planet, long before any advanced life forms or plants were around.
What kind of clues?
So we see these clues as mineral textures, like the individual pieces that form a rock. Those ones tell us about processes that were taking place when those rocks were formed. So as geologists, we look at these rocks as a history book. We look for clues that tell us about processes that were happening long before any of us were around to observe and record the history of our planet.
What kind of process would that be?
So things as simple as flowing of water, because we don't know what the earth was like in its early stages. Were there rivers? Were there oceans? How hot were the oceans? Was there an atmosphere? Were there life forms? How did life begin? So to answer those questions, we go to the oldest preserved rocks on the planet, and we try to look for what do they contain? What does it say about processes of the earth? So we attract even scientists from NASA who are looking for signs of life in other planets. They come to Barberton because it's easier to reach and cheaper, cheaper to access. So this is where it all starts, yeah? How do you form continents? You have Africa, you have Europe. How does that form from a ball of liquid, hot rock that was our planet when it first began? How do you move from that to having continents and oceans and an atmosphere? All of that we get through studying rocks of the Barberton Makonjwa Mountains. And so that's why UNESCO said, hey, let's give these guys World Heritage status, because nowhere else in the world can you easily access these ancient rocks.
Now you're embarking on a new project to drill in the Makonjwa Mountains, not for minerals, but answers. And you believe that drilling deep into these ancient rock formations can shed new light on the beginnings of life. What exactly are you looking for?
Okay, should I take that? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. Okay, so we have mountains and mountains of these ancient rocks. They are in a good state of preservation. However, processes of weathering and erosion have broken down some of the surface material. So that's why we need to go and sample underground where the rocks are better preserved. And so that's why we're drilling. We're drilling a couple of hundreds of meters underground, not kilometers. So we won't cause earthquakes or instabilities and stuff like that. So we're sampling to reach rocks that are better preserved, because in these rocks we see layers of bacterial mass that you see on one of the rock exposures on the Barberton Bulembu Road called the Geotrail, the R40 Geotrail. So there you can see on surface some layers that look like algal mats, dingushe in my language, this one. But yeah, these slimy layers of the earliest life forms that you see in the planet, but they are not as preserved as they would be underground. So we need to sample material from underground so that we can be sure that what we see are original minerals that haven't been broken down by sunlight or recent rains.
Is it the first time that you're going that deep?
No, there have been a couple of previous drilling projects, but now we are focusing on one of the three major groups of the Barberton Makonjwa Mountains. It's called the Moody's Group. So these are ancient sandstones from beach environments and river systems from way back when. And so we're sampling those specific rocks because they haven't been the focus of intense drilling projects of the past. Okay, what he's been involved with have been drilling projects that have to do with other rock groups. This is the first time we're really doing detailed stuff on the ancient sandstones of the early history of our planet. Yeah.
And is there a technological aspect to it that it's easier to analyze, easier to drill?
If I can chip in here, if I may. The rocks that we are sampling now are being very carefully curated. The drill core gets split into two halves. One half will go across to Germany, where the center for a lot of study by geologists from about 20 different countries. Guys will jump in and take these rocks to some of the most sophisticated laboratories in the world to analyze the makeup of this fossil algae that we're looking for, and to really find out, was this indeed the first form of life on Earth that existed? And we're talking billions of years ago, not thousands or millions. It's a long time ago. So that's the main thrust. There are about 20 odd countries that are part of the International Continental Drilling Project, and they've got projects like this all over the world. This is the first one that's really significantly happening in Africa, and we're very proud that it's in Barberton, very happy in these very special rocks, because we've got a lot of interesting things to show. The other half of the rocks are going to be stored in the South African Geological Survey in Pretoria for use by local geologists. So we're curating this stuff very carefully and keeping it for future generations as well.
And the exciting bit is that locals have the opportunity to come and see us work. You know, when you talk of drilling, people think of drilling for underground layers of gold or water sources. We're here drilling for rocks that have just interesting clues in them. So the public can come in and watch us receive these fresh rocks, see us cutting them, see us describing them, see us photographing them, just in the public eye. Why? Because we want to expose locals to the scientific process. What makes a rock that doesn't contain precious minerals important? Why would we be fascinated with a piece of rock without shiny pieces of gold in it? So come and visit us and see for yourself how a rock can tell a story. Okay, and so we're in the Barberton Museum working in the Buyers Hall, which is just a storage center of the museum, but we've transformed it into an exhibition for geology where you can see science in action. Yeah, and you've got people like me who like explaining rocks, rock processes in everyday life terms. So please visit us. We will guide you through the exhibition. And if you want to see drilling in action, we also have the option to take you with our drilling manager to see the operations and see the rocks come out fresh from the ground, from underground. Yeah.
Is it a very thin drill?
Yes, the drill is a big, heavy machine on caterpillar tracks that can get into awkward places. But the core that comes out is usually in the vicinity of about 50 millimeters across.
Not more than 60 millimeters.
60 millimeters.
The width of your phone, essentially, roughly, yeah.
Yeah, they're fairly thin little bits. You can drill different sizes, but it obviously becomes very expensive if you go to big sizes. The smaller core drills very easily, and this is what we're doing now. Yesterday is a big day for us. A brand new drilling rig that our drilling company have just purchased came and it was delivered yesterday on site. We're going to start drilling in the next week on the R40 road. It's the old Havelock Road that older people will know, the road from Barberton to Havelock, now Bulembu. On that road, we've got a number of visitor sites which are part of the Barberton Geo Trail. It's a superbly laid out place with a lot of stops that are very well illustrated and so on, samples of rocks and things that the public can go and see on a nice tarred public road. And this drill site is right next to the public road, so it's very easy for us to take visitors. But please do contact us. There's a website and an email address in the literature that you can find, and or visit us at the Barberton Iron and Steel Hall where the museum is, and we'll arrange for one of the scientists to take a personal groups of people up there to see the drilling actually in action.
So we're going to see you, but please don't just rock up.
Well,
Of course.
anybody can rock up to the R40 site and have a look at it, but nobody there will be able to explain. The guys there are drillers. They're working. They shouldn't be disturbed. They will have instructions not to interact with the public because they've got work to do. But if you want one of us geologists to go along and tell you exactly what's going on and show you how the drilling works, what the significance of the geology is, we'll be very happy to do that.
Just prearrange it.
Yes.
When are you starting?
Today.
Today.
Yes, the rig arrived yesterday. We're busy installing the rig now, and hopefully by tomorrow we will be drilling the first core.
And how long is it supposed to take?
We think this is going to take 6 to 8 weeks, perhaps, this one particular hole, but it's one of a series of 8. We're busy with our first 2 holes that are nearing completion, but they're not quite at the end. And after that, there's another 6. This is number 3 in array of 6. The others are in fairly inaccessible places. So unfortunately, the public won't be able to go there. It's on private property, and some of it's in forestry reserve, so we can't take the public there. But this one on the Makonjwa pass from Barberton is available to the public, and it's set up in one of the GeoTrail sites.
Where can we contact you?
Okay, so we are active on Facebook. We have a Facebook page called Moody's Base Project, MOODIES-BASE Project. You can also email us at Moody's Base Project, one word, at gmail.com. Please also visit us at the Barberton Museum, where one of us will engage you and show you through our wonderful exhibition. Okay?
This is very exciting.
I'm so happy to be doing this in my hometown.
Absolutely. And I hope you come and visit us in the studio again.
Sure.
We'd love to
sure.
do that.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Okay.